Good afternoon, friends. I wanted to share with you a new website that I just launched. Well, it's actually an old website slash new website. I used to have another domain name, and I decided to let that domain name go and rebrand this website with my own name. So this is wallaceedits.com or waynewallaceedits.com. But when I talk about it, I say wallaceedits.com because it's shorter. And that kind of goes with my branding of wallacephoto.com. Okay. So you notice a little theme there. Um, so what is wallaceedits.com? Well, I decided to come up with a solution for several, let's say, issues that I encountered when working with clients around video editing. And these issues, I wanted to come up with a solution, an elegant solution for. So, part of the problem out there in the world is a lot of people have these fancy cameras now and they can easily shoot video and photos, right? But maybe when it comes to the editing part, they need a little help. Maybe they don't have the technical know how. Maybe they kind of know how to do it, but they don't want to spend time on it. So that's where I come in. Okay. I'm a professional photo and video editor. So if you need help with any of your photo or video editing, I can certainly help with that. Now, this particular website talks about video editing, but if you're a member here and you need photos edited as well, then I'll edit those too. Okay. So just to kind of throw that in, that's not really what this video is about. This is about video editing. But if you need some photos edited, even if another photographer took them with his camera or their camera, then I mean, technically, you probably want them to edit the photos. But if they just gave you all the photos and you have them and you want me to edit them, I can do that. So, um, so that's what this website is trying to solve the problem of is you have tons of video. Maybe you do podcasts. Maybe you do like recordings of interviews. Maybe you have B-roll footage of all this stuff like events or whatever you do, whether it's horizontal or vertical, doesn't matter. Okay. So you may be part of my documentary podcast show that I'm doing, or you may know about that, and you know that I recommend shooting in horizontal mode. So, in general, that's a good thing to do. But maybe you have a bunch of footage that's vertical and you just need it cleaned up. You need it kind of edited in such a way that you can use it on social media as shorts or even as regular long form type video. So I'm going to walk through the website and explain the service that I put together, and hopefully it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let me know because it makes sense to me, but I'm the one that created it. So the whole idea is I want to make it as simple as one, two, three for you. So you take out your phone, you shoot some content. You probably have Google on your phone, most likely, right? I have two phones. I have an Android phone and I have an Apple phone. I have Google on both of them. So I have a Google account. I purchase space from Google, which means I can set up a drive folder for you. And you can sync your video and your photo right to the cloud into my Google Drive. I just give you access to it and you just share right from your phone or your computer right to the Google Drive. It's just like dragging and dropping into a folder on your computer. It's super simple. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll edit your footage into whatever format you want. So if you want 30-second clips or 60-second clips, or you want YouTube style videos, whatever. Or if you just want me to do whatever I can do with it, like just use my creativity. So I want to show you this video here that a client of mine, I did for a client of mine. And sadly, this client died. I was working with him for about a year or so, and then he died just suddenly. So I was kind of sad to hear that. So I'm keeping this around in memory of him. So he liked to drink, and maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. But he liked to go to nice restaurants and nice bars, and he was kind of an aficionado when it came to food and beverage. And he just sent me a clip one night of, he nothing professional. He just took out his phone and kind of recorded some footage at the bar he was at. And then he did a little voiceover with audio only. He just hit record on his phone with the audio app and recorded a voiceover. And he said, Wayne, can you do anything with this? And I was like, okay, well, let me see what I can do with it. So I'm going to play it for you.
Hugh from the MuseSpot. I did a story a couple weeks ago, if you remember, about the Glen Turret and how I am really, really excited about their marketing strategy and all that other stuff. Well, the folks at Rose's were kind enough to order and get in a bottle of the Triplewood 2022 Expression. Chris is going to pour some in a little bit. In the International Wine and Spirits Competition, the Triplewood scored a 99 out of 100, which is the only Scotch entry to score that high, and they won a double gold medal out of it. I can go into the fact that 23 entries got 98 points or another, and how these points really do not matter. What matters is what you like and what you enjoy. And that's what I would place emphasis on here. If everything scores an A+, then where are we with the rest of the competition? So I expect anything with an A+ should be, being served at the Last Supper along with Jesus and everybody else. And I would suggest you go out and buy this or try it, because it is very, very enjoyable. It took a while to open up. It opened up really nicely. I'm the kind of person that likes to really, really sniff whiskey and wine. I enjoy the smells often a lot more than the taste. It's just part of the whole sort of situation that you do when you're tasting. But I will say that the finish was excellent. It was very, very long. It's a really nice whiskey. 99, who knows? That's up to you guys. And I'll leave that for Richard Patterson over there somewhere. What I will say that mentally, it reminded me a lot of Old Weller, where I don't know if anybody remembers Old Weller, back when Old Weller was in a plastic screw top. Heavens! It had this heat and this really nice sort of long flavor of vanilla maple syrup sort of thing. Just a really, that kind of oaky, just delicious stuff. When you read the reviews and you hear about, this tastes like this tastes like that, tastes like blackberries on a summer day and all this other crap. Look, nobody gets up in the morning, goes to work, comes home after a hard day's work, and opens up a scotch thinking, what I really want is something with the blackberries. Find a good local watering hole with some of this in it if you can. It's almost impossible in Vegas, but if you can. And get to know your bartenders or mixologists and try a little bit before you decide to buy. And I would strongly urge a buy on this stuff. It's fascinating, it's interesting, and it's well worth the money in my opinion. Anyway, behave responsibly, and I guess I should say drink responsibly, but I think behave responsibly would be a lot better nowadays. And you all take care of each other, all right? Have a great time. Bye.
Okay. So that's the video. And
Hugh from the MuseSpot.
Show you.
I did a story a couple.
So you can hear the narration, right? So the narration was like 2.5 minutes long. Personally, I think it's a little long, but he was kind of a long-winded guy, and He liked to talk. So he wanted me to make this as kind of a dual purpose video. One, to advertise the restaurant because that was one of his clients, and two, to advertise him talking about this whiskey. So Rosa is the restaurant, and I have several little mentions of them. So this is the restaurant here, and then that's one of their photos from their website. And then this is one of the clips that he captured on his phone. So not real professional, but just, took his phone and started recording some stuff. And there was a lot of back and forth dialogue and stuff like that. This was something I captured off of the web. This is nothing that he photographed. That was off of the web. That was off of the stock photo website. So this, again, is footage of the bartender at the restaurant pouring some of the whiskey that they got specifically for him, right? So he got a little video of him pouring it, and then he is kind of a funny guy. So he was talking about like Jesus at the Last Supper. So I decided to put Jesus in there. And again, this is stock footage from the website. So, I used a lot of stock footage because he didn't really give me much footage. He just gave me those two clips that you saw. And then this was one of the photos that he took. So I just kind of zoomed it in. Again, this was a stock image. He was talking about Old Weller. He's talking about blueberries and blackberries and people coming home from work and finding a bar. And then this was yet another photo that he took. And then this is part of that same clip that you just saw. So I split the clip in half and I kind of split it up. So, and then I put an ad for Rosa cocktails at the end. So pretty simple. Now, could I cut it down and make it shorter? Yeah, sure, I could. But he wanted the whole narration in there. So, hey, client gets what they want, right? So that's an example of how I can take just simple videos that maybe you capture on your phone. Maybe you do a little narration with the audio recorder or with a video recorder, even showing your face. It would have been nice if he would have recorded himself a little bit, but he didn't. So I just had to make do with what I had. Okay. So that's an example. You could do that. You could just take whatever videos, whatever photos you have, and if you want to do a narration or a little interview on camera, then you could do that, right? My gestures put my hand up. I don't need my hand up. So you could do that too. And then here's another example. So some people do a podcast and they have Alexa, stop.
Reminder. Take 2 shots.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, set do not disturb.
I won't disturb you.
So some people have a podcast where it's more horizontal in nature and it's maybe done on Zoom or some other kind of recording system, and it's more horizontal, and maybe you want some shorts, or maybe you have some other type of video that you want made into shorts. So this is an example of a short that I made from a longer podcast. So this is one of my mentors, Eric Warre, and I've worked with him in the past doing photography for him. And then I also subscribe to his coaching program. So I get, daily mentoring from him. So I watch his podcasts all the time. And this is one of his more recent podcasts. And I decided to just take it and make a clip out of it just to show you. So here we go. I'll go ahead and play it.
I was a millionaire at 23. I was an unmillionaire at 26.
And then people say, well, at least you had it. To have had it, be a person that used to have
Yeah.
money and not have it again, it sucks.
It's the worst.
One superpower I've had is I don't treat myself so seriously.
There you go.
And I learned that because I did early.
And by the way, that's another gift to bring to the marketplace. The whole world is taking itself too seriously. I was talking with my friend Bill Hampton last night. I said, ever since the Spice Girls and the Kardashians, where you're not supposed to smile, and I said, everybody's got a poker up their butt. But when you start with, hey, here's where I screwed up, and here's where I went wrong, and here's where it hurt, and we can identify one another enormously from that. That's not what's talked about today. It's 1995. It's 3 easy payments. Start at 25 and you're millionaire by 26. And it's like, no. And one of the great things about being Irish is not only do we not take ourselves too seriously, we don't take anyone else too seriously.
So that's an example of where I cut this hour and a half long podcast. I actually cut it down into multiple clips, but this is just one of the clips. Okay. So how does this all work? So basically I've set it up like a subscription service, kind of like Amazon Prime or Sam's Club or Costco. Everybody's got a subscription nowadays, right? So I figured, well, I'll create a subscription, and that way, you know, I can have more regular clients with the video editing and give you a better deal because you're a subscriber. Okay. So as a subscriber, you're going to get access to discounted editing rates and a bunch of other stuff. The discounted editing rates obviously is one of the big perks. So the normal rack rate for video editing, kind of industry wide, is from 75 to 100 bucks an hour for professional editing. Okay. Sure, you can find it cheaper over in the Philippines or whatever off some VA, but you don't know what you're going to get, and you may spend more time going back and forth with them than it's even worth. Okay. Trust me, I've dealt with other people in other locations, so I know. So the monthly fee for becoming a member is $97 a month. Okay. So let me go here to the monthly membership. So $97 a month, you're going to get discounted editing rates anywhere from $37 to $50 an hour. So instead of the 75 to 100, you're going to get me editing your video from $37 to $50 an hour. Now, the rate you get depends on the package you buy. So it's just like buying Coca-Cola. If you buy the big old bottle of Coca-Cola, then you're going to get a better price per ounce. If you buy the little cute, half can, it's like 8 ounces or whatever, maybe 4 ounces, you're going to pay more per ounce because it's a little cute can, right? The other thing you're going to get is you're going to get a Google Drive to upload all your videos to. And then any of your edited videos are also going to be stored in the Google Drive. And then I'm also going to index all of your videos in a Google Sheet with descriptions and transcripts and social media potential text for posting, because I can create all that stuff easily with AI from your video. So I'm going to give you a Google Sheet that's going to have a link to your video. It's going to have a bunch of information that, say, your social media person could use to post that video. So I'll create all that for your video. And that'll make it real easy for you to just hand that Google Sheet off to a social media person, and they'll be able to click and download the video. They'll be able to copy and paste the suggested text. Of course, they can edit that text before they post it, but at least that's an AI generated text description and hashtags and stuff like that for that video. So it kind of allows you to kind of hand it off to someone, right? And then I'm also going to offer private Zoom sessions to maybe teach you how to do better video, maybe some editing. If you want to do some editing, I can kind of show you what I'm doing because maybe you want to do some editing. I don't know. So those private Zoom sessions are going to be part of the membership. Okay. And then you would purchase whatever package you want. So let's say, you don't have a lot of video to edit and you just kind of want to start on the lower end cost wise, then you can start with the $297 level 1 package. So let me show you what's in that. So the $297 level 1 package includes 6 hours of editing time at the discounted rate. Okay. And then I have this thing called overtime. So let's say you buy 6 hours and I use it all up. And I've got maybe an hour or 2 hours left to finish your videos. And there's no amount of videos, there's no count. It's just whatever number of videos I can create for you based on the footage you give me. There's no per video price. It's just kind of a bulk rate. So the overtime price or rate in this particular package is 65. So let's say when I hit the 6 hour mark, I'm going to tell you, hey, I ran out of time. Do you want to go on the overtime rate or do you want to re-up your package? So price wise, it's better if you re-up your package, right? Because if we take a look at the cost of this, if we take 297 divided by 6, it's $49.50. So why would you pay the 65 an hour if you can get me for $49.50? And if you're going to continue doing video marketing, then you're going to use up those hours at some point. So you might as well just re-up, right? So if you find that you're re-upping because you're shooting more video, then you can just go to the next level package. So let's go back and I'll go to the next level package, which is package 2. Package 2 is $497 a month, or however often you want to re-up it. And it includes 10 hours of editing time. And then the overtime rate on this is $60 an hour. But again, if you take the $497 and you divide that by the 10, it comes out to $49.70. Okay? So it just depends on how much footage you have and how much editing you want done. And then you can do the same thing with the other packages as well. So obviously the best price is going to be at the highest level. So the highest level I have right now is level 6, which is $2,997. And I say a month, but it's not really monthly. It's whenever you want to re-up it. Okay? So I'll explain that in a minute. So let's bring out the calculator again. And I'm going to say 2,997 divided by 80. That's how many hours you get. So it comes out to 37.4. So obviously that's the most discounted rate. But I don't mind giving you that discounted rate because you're paying me $3,000 up front. Okay? So I know I'm getting paid $3,000 and you're going to get me at a better rate. All right? And then the overtime rate on this one is $46 an hour. But again, why would you want to pay that 46 an hour if you can pay 37 an hour, right? So now let me explain the monthly re-up, okay? It could be twice a month. It could be every 3 months. It could be whenever you want, as long as you're a member. And that's why I have the $97 a month membership fee. Okay. So let's say you're like, Wayne, I want to get the best editing price possible. You get the $97 a month membership and you get the level 6 package. That's going to give you the best pricing. Okay. So if we calculate that out in total, let's calculate that out in total. Let's do this. So we're going to do $29.97. And let's just do it for the month, right? So plus 97. So that's $30.94 divided by 80. So it comes out to 38.6. Now, that's if I use up all those hours in 1 month. But since you have the membership, your hours roll over month to month to month, depending on how long you want to keep your membership. So as long as you have your membership in place, the hours roll over. You never lose them. Okay? So let's just say you take 3 months to use up your hours. So 3 times 97, 291, plus 29.97 divided by 80. So now you're at 41 per hour. Okay? So it just makes sense depending on how much volume of editing you want or how much you want to pay per hour. If you want to pay the least amount per hour, then buy the biggest package. And if you want to buy a bigger package than that, then let me know and I can work one out for you. Okay? But I tried to make it good for you and good for me. I tried to make it a win-win situation. Because here's the problem with video editing as a service is, you know, people come to you and they say, well, how long is it going to take to edit this? Well, I don't know. Like, unless I've done it before, then I don't really have an idea how long it's going to take. So it's hard to quote a price for one-time, one-off video. So I would rather work with you over time and let us develop a system so I can get them done more efficiently. And then you're going to get regular content. And if that's the case, then it just makes sense to have a subscription, right? And then when is a video ever done? It's like a painting. When's a painting done? Okay. If you ever listen to any YouTubers talk, I'm in groups where video editors and YouTubers talk about, you know, creating content, stuff like that. And one of the issues that we commonly talk about is, when do you decide it's done? When do you push the button and say, publish my video? Because at some point you just have to do that. You have to decide, I'm done messing with this. The payoff for the time spent tweaking it isn't worth it. So let me just publish it. Because, yeah, the content's got to be good and the video's got to have the right stuff to make it attractive or make it, you know, do good in the algorithm or whatever. But there's a diminishing return, right? So when is a video ever done? So that's why I didn't want to make the editing packages about how many videos. because it's hard to say how many videos I can create based on your footage. I may be able to create 5, I may be able to create 10. Who knows? I don't know what you're giving me. So, like the podcast I was talking about, I could easily cut 20 clips out of that 1 hour podcast. Now, maybe your podcast isn't that long and maybe there's not that many good points in it. So you may get 5 or 10 clips out of your podcast, right? So it's hard to put a number on those things. And the fact that a video is never really done, you just have to say, good enough, let's publish it. So what I will do with you is I will work on your videos, get them to a point where I think they're good, and then run it by you. And then you may be like, no, I want to change this, I want to change that. Okay, well, that's going to take more time, right? And I try and do that in stages. So first we get a rough draft together and I run it by you and I say, hey, here's the rough draft. Do you like where we're going? Oh yeah, I like where we're going. Then we can start putting the polish on it, right? We can start adding music and sound effects and, stock footage, maybe some narration, stuff like that. So there's phases that you go through, just like a painting. When you do a painting, first you do a little sketch, kind of get an idea of what the painting is going to look like. And then you come in and you lay some base layers, some base colors down, right? And then you come in and you start adding some detail here and there. So it's the same exact thing with video editing. You do it in phases and layers. So I like to give you a proof or a rough cut early on so you can look at like the storyline or the flow. And you may be like, no, you totally missed it, Wayne. I want this to go over here. I want this to go over here. You got it all backwards, right? And we can fix that early on when it's in the rough cut phase. Because after we start adding all that detail and all that finishing polish, then you're spending hours that you may not use later in the final. If you don't look at it early enough, right? So that's what I like to do. I like to run things by you as we go and not waste time. So I want to use your 80 hours efficiently. I want to use your 6 hours efficiently. I want to use your 20 hours efficiently. So I think this is the best way to go. I personally have not seen anyone do anything like this. If they have, I don't know about it. I just came up with this totally on my own. And I think it's a great way to go. Like if I was going to go hire an editor, I would want something like this. And my whole goal is to build a relationship with you and be your full-time editor. Like I want to just have all these folders with all my clients' videos in there and just edit, right? Now, let's talk about like priority and when yours gets worked on versus someone else, right? It could just be based on your needs. Like how often do you need your video? Like, do you need it every Monday, right? Do you need it once a month? So I'm going to work with you and I'm going to work with my other clients and I'll figure out a schedule for getting things done on that basis. Now, at some point, I may have to say, hey, if you want priority editing, I may need to charge a little bit more, right? Just depends on kind of the volume that I'm getting, right? Or the volume that I have at that minute, because if I get, 4 people coming at me with the same deadlines and nobody's budgeable, then I may need to bring in a third party person to help me edit, You know, ideally, this is all me doing this because that's the service that I want to offer. But we'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Like, there's no reason to worry about that right now. So that's the service. So just go to wallaceedits.com. You can look this over. I just kind of put this website together and made some tweaks to it. So I'll be updating it as I go. And let me know if you have any questions. You can contact me through this form right here, or whichever way you know how to contact me. And then I also put this little, kind of teaser in here that says, not sure yet, test me for free. So I'm not going to do this big, huge thing for free, but if you have a little video that you want me to edit for free, just to kind of see what I'll do with it, then, contact me and we'll talk about it. Okay. I'm trying to remove all the obstacles and the barriers for you and make it a win-win situation. So that's what I have for you. And hopefully this is attractive to you. And if you'd like to give me a try, then let's talk. Thank you for watching.